Hello writers! If you're considering traditional publishing, then this is the video for you. Because sometime or another you will want to reach out to literary agents, the middleman between you and a publishing house. Yet when it comes to catching the eye of an agent, there are many things to consider. In this video, we'll be discussing what publishers and agents actually want. Or at least one of those. If you want to know what that is, then keep watching. Hello writers! As you can tell, I'm doing a little something different for this video because filming is a little tight for me at the moment. I've been doing a lot of this. So I'm trying this type of video instead. Let me know if you guys like this style and I'll make more in the future. Anyway, welcome back to A Writer's Corner with me, Lisa Shimkus. I'm a neurodivergent writer who creates videos on books, writing, and publishing. If any of this intrigues you, make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video so you can always refer back to it. On to today's topic, catching the eye of an agent and publishing house by giving them what they actually want. And what do they want, you might ask? A book series. That's right, the publishing industry is highly interested in a world that can span more than one book. They don't want a one-hit wonder. They want to work with authors who are dedicated to the craft of writing and who can keep readers coming back for more. And why not reel them in with a book series? I admit I love series. I love being able to remain in another writer's world for a long period of time. Because I honestly don't want to leave. Being stuck in a book is so much better than living in reality. However, reality does hit, and my biggest reality is that I also enjoy writing, not just reading. So I'm here to help you with the writing piece. When it comes to writing a book series, here are 5 takeaways to keep in mind if you want to be able to successfully pitch your idea to agents. 1. Have a destination or the ending in mind. Spoilers, let's look at the example of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series. I'm excited for the upcoming TV series, by the way. Before Rowling even wrote The Boy Who Lived, she already had a vision, or rather a spreadsheet, to the final chapters of Deathly Hallows, the 7th and final book to the series. The reason this step is so vital is that without a destination, a writer, that's you, becomes lost. Imagine driving a car from point A to nowhere at all with no GPS either. You're just burning gas and will eventually need to fill up again. But what's the point of filling up the tank if you have no destination to go to? That's a waste of money. As a writer, you don't want to waste your time either by writing absolutely nothing useful. As they say, time waits for nobody, so use it wisely by having a destination in mind. 2. Reverse engineer your climax. This means know your resolution at the same time you know the beginning. Back to Harry, the scenes of knowing Harry must face death in Book 7 were already in place before he even sat down at the Sorting Hat ceremony. Clues leading to the ending must be sprinkled in as early as Book 1. Take, for example, Neville Longbottom's character arc, where his ultimate bravery in the finale dictates that he must start as the clumsy, forgetful boy in the first few books. Harry himself is clueless about magic and bullied by family for the first 11 years of his life, which aids in forming his courageous, self-assured, and sympathetic character. Plotting out not only the character arcs, but other aspects in each book in a series by reverse engineering lets the author know the direction of the story and rewards the readers with a sense of destiny and keeps them engaged and reading. 3. Strategic foreshadowing. One best way to keep readers engaged is to use some foreshadowing. An example is the breadcrumb method, where you instill important plot points now that will make an appearance later on. For instance, planting a throwaway line about a heavy locket, or a broken vanishing cabinet that becomes a vital plot engine later on in the series. Another technique is the "it was there all along" moments, like the reveal of Scabbers' true identity, or how Hagrid gained his motorcycle to transport Harry to the Dursleys in the beginning. This strategic foresight also protects a writer's mental energy and prevents them, or you, from getting distracted by shiny new world-building ideas. Again, know where your destination is so that you don't drive off in another direction. Oh, and this technique also drives viral social media theories and decades-long fandom engagements, which as a writer is what you want, the legacy of your books to live on. 4. Safeguard your creative process against hyperfixation shifts. Imagine having a fixed horizon as a guardrail, preventing you from abandoning your series when a new, shiny idea comes to mind. This fixed horizon can be as simple as jotting down important plot points or creating a world map that you can visually see and adhere to. You can also use the modular integration framework by fitting a new, exciting, say, creature or class into the existing structure of your series without moving the goalposts of the final ending. This gives your readers a hit of dopamine after not only finishing a chapter or a book, but actually completing big tasks within the series, such as checking off a Horcrux. And not only will readers feel deeply satisfied by each book in the series, but they trust that with every book that they open, there's always going to be a problem solved or happily ever after. In other words, readers come to enjoy and trust that you, the author, will deliver them something worth reading. 5. The final payoff and reader loyalty. One of the payoffs to writing a series is reader satisfaction. As readers go on this journey with you, the writer, and your characters, they get to reach the ending with a sense of peace and satisfaction once the series comes to a close. I should also add that there is a sense of loss and depression as well post-ending a series, but that may have to be another video of its own. By hooking your readers from book 1, you have also gained reader loyalty. This audience of yours will now follow you to the end of the earth until they have read everything you have created because, again, they trust that you will always deliver something worth reading, something that will make their lives feel worthwhile. This also ensures that agents and publishers have an audience to produce material for, this audience being your loyal readers. This is why agents and publishers are seeking authors who can produce a book series. There you have it, one or multiple things that agents and publishers are looking for. If you are set on becoming a traditionally published author and want to catch the eye of an agent or publishing house, consider writing a series. It may sound daunting, but don't forget the 5 key takeaways in this video. When you're ready to pitch your series to agents, check out my free query letter template below. That's it for this video. Hope you were able to gain some new information and store it away in your knowledge bank as you get ready to traditionally publish. If you enjoy this type of video, comment more below and I will work on the next video. Until then, take care and have fun reading and writing. Bye!